What's up guys, John from Sleepy Food, and sorry. I know I haven't uploaded in about, I think, a month now. It's just due to a load of stuff. One, I had new carpets installed here, I had my room completely redone, it was a mess. But what did happen in between all of this was E3. I've got all the press conference stuff here, so and I thought it'd be a good idea to come back to a massively watered down and overdone topic by now, but talking about all the press conferences that happened. I've got all the information on here, so I guess we'll start with Nintendo.
Listen, little donkey.
Donkey?
Nintendo's, from what I haven't watched any of the press conference. I literally just searched them all up, and I'm going off summary informations and what I've watched on like YouTube and stuff like that. So from what I can tell, Nintendo's a lot of press conferences. There we go. Were very mixed. Nintendo's were probably one of the better ones, I believe. I think that was due to like a lot of very hyped up announcements and a lot of games that people have been wanting for fucking ever now. So, looking at the IGN article, which is not the most reliable source, they announced Rocket League coming to the Nintendo Switch, which I don't think anyone gives a shit about, not even me, to be honest. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I started playing the first one. I did like sort of the style of it, but I just never got into it. There's apparently a new Kirby coming to the Switch, which will be coming out in 2018. I haven't seen anything for this actually. No one's... oh, adverts, great. So, just finished watching the trailer for it. It looks alright actually. It looks, like, if you ever played the Nintendo Wii version of Kirby, I forget the name of it now, it's very much that sort of aesthetic to it. It looks like you can make companions, like, straight up. You don't have to, like, consume the ability and then make a companion. You can also make like 3 different companions for some reason. Maybe they're going for like a 4-player thing, I don't know. But the thing that kind of stood out was the fact that you could combine abilities, which I think they only did for like a Nintendo DS one. I can't remember the name of that one either. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, I heard about this. They had a massive announcement for a Pokemon game coming for the Nintendo Switch, but the only thing that they did was, it was just a tiny clip of this guy saying, oh yeah, there's a Pokemon coming to the Switch, and everyone lost their fucking goddamn mind, even though there's no gameplay, there's no trailer, there's no logo, there's no nothing. It was literally just a sentence at the conference. Another thing people were hyped about, Metroid Prime 4. For this, there is at least a logo, but people still lost their mind for it, because people only thought that Metroid Prime was going to be like a trilogy, which for the most part it is, well, at least for now anyway. But all they got was like the tiny Samus lightning bolt thing and the number 4, and that's it really. Right, anyway, they also announced a new Yoshi game. It looks like they're still going for that like Yoshi's Woolly World aesthetic still, but it looks sort of like an actual original game rather than just a reimagining of Yoshi's Island. Fire Emblem Warriors? Oh yeah, I heard about this. So if any of you have ever heard of Dynasty Warriors, which I'm guessing you have, there are massive just fields of enemies and just it's pretty much just taking the whole battlefield for yourself. They did it with the guys who made Dynasty Warriors did a sort of a crossover with Nintendo already when they made Hyrule Warriors. It looks like they're going to do that with Fire Emblem Warriors now. There was some new DLC announced for Breath of the Wild, and everyone, even me, just looking at like the trailer for Super Mario Odyssey. Who the fuck thought that you could play as a realistic fucking dinosaur in a Mario game? Like, okay, like, I remember when they first announced Super Mario Odyssey in like the city area, I thought they're gonna fuck this up. Why the hell have they done this? Because the first thing I thought of was Sonic 06, which, if that ever comes to your mind, it's never a good thing. But yeah, Super Mario Odyssey is definitely a very hyped game, even by me, and I don't even have a Nintendo Switch. Metroid Samus Returns, so they've got another, I think they've got a 2D Metroid game coming to the 3DS, which I need some more 3DS games because I haven't got many, and the only replayable one that I have is Smash Bros. For the 3DS, which it's just been sat in my 3DS for like a year now. I think that's everything from the Nintendo press conference. Some of the games in there I'm really hyped for, like Super Mario Odyssey, Metroid, Samus Returns, stuff like that. If I get the chance to, if I find it cheap enough, I may get like a Nintendo Switch, because there's a lot of games now coming out for it which are sort of, they look very good, should we say, like Metroid Prime 4 and stuff like that. Anyway, moving on to Bethesda.
Shut the fuck up, no one cares.
Oh, Bethesda, you are easily the fucking worst I have of this year. Like, this year's E3 was bad compared to the other years. Not due to like the games that were announced, but due to like the majority of them were just like how the hosts dealt with it. Bethesda's, on the other hand, it was just a complete shitstorm. The hosts were terrible. The games they announced were just what? And all the extra news they announced as well. Like, it's all dreadful. But I'm gonna go into it now. So, first off, they had Dishonored DLC that they announced, which is okay. Like, it's just DLC at the end of the day. It was gonna come. Then they start just going downhill. So they announced Doom VR, which, if they're then gonna charge you again for fucking Doom just so you can play it in VR, what the fuck are you doing? Elder Scrolls Legends? Oh, yep. Okay, so they announced a new free card game. So, like Hearthstone or the Pokemon TCG Online. I know not many people play that, but I do. Which is based on like the Skyrim universe, like Hearthstone's based on the World of Warcraft universe, stuff like that. Elder Scrolls Online, so they talked about a few like expansion packs for it that are coming out. Evil Within 2, which the first Evil Within I don't think was that praised. Give me a sec. I'll have a look at some. Oh, okay. It was moderately praised. It was about a 7 out of 10, 8.7 out of 10, stuff like that. So Evil Within 2, yeah, that's alright. They actually announced something new, which is surprising. Then Fallout 4 VR, which you can kind of notice a trend here of them just re-releasing old stuff. They can't think of many things that are new, so they've released Doom VR, Fallout 4 VR, Skyrim on the Switch. Although Quake Champions, apparently it's in an open beta according to this article. Wolfenstein 2, that was another actually new thing that they did. I didn't play the New Order, but I heard it was actually really good. And I think that was everything from the Bethesda one. It really wasn't good. Because they didn't really announce anything new. And the things that were new were alright. Like, obviously, Quake Champions, not Dishonored, Wolfenstein, and the other game I just mentioned. But they also announced paid mods for like Fallout 4 and Skyrim and stuff like that. Even though mods are free anyway. Now it's nice that they're trying to like give modders credit pretty much, and give them actual money for what they're doing. But most people aren't going to see it like that. Most people are going to see, oh, it's them trying to make more money, pretty much, which is how most people saw it, pretty much. Then we move on to the Xbox, which it was probably one of the more confusing ones, not due to like what was going on, but just for what they were saying, because Project Scorpio got a name, Xbox One X, which I can't help saying it without pause in between the word one and X. And they announced a price of $499, which over in the UK would be around 300 and something. But knowing Microsoft and all that lot, they'll probably still sell it for 500. Then I think they showed like a tech demo of what it could do. Of like, I can't remember what the actual game was, but it looked great. All that lot. They also seem to be obsessed with Forza and the Porsche 911. Don't know what that was about. Anthem, that was a really risky call, because I believe Anthem the people are dubbing it like the Mass Effect. Is it Mass Effect and Destiny crossover, sort of? It was a massive risk for them to take. They also announced PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds that's coming to Xbox One. They said it exclusively, but it's been on PC for like 2 months now. The worst thing that they announced was Minecraft, but in 4K graphics. The game doesn't need 4K graphics. It barely even needs 480p graphics, to be honest. But apparently Minecraft in 4K is going to be a thing, and it's going to look as crisp as ever. You're going to be able to cut yourself on the side of blocks now because they look so sharp. Apparently it's like Sea of Thieves is just like a pirating game. Apparently it looks quite fun. Coming early next year. Crackdown 3, we knew it was coming, but I think they just gave a release date for it. Apparently November 2nd. They showed off a new Metro game. I tried playing the earlier Metro games, and I don't know, for some reason I fell off it, and then when I tried to pick it back up, I couldn't remember any of the controls, and it was just too intimidating to get back into. But I may start a new one with this new one coming out. I don't know. Assassin's Creed Origins, I completely fell off the Assassin's Creed train after 4, I believe. I'll have to go and check, but I've got, I hate to say this, but I've got all the Assassin's Creeds up to 4, I believe, and then I kind of just went, nope, I haven't beaten any of them. Playing through them is like a chore, because half the missions you're not actually like being an assassin. You're just following this fuckhead through town. Shadow of War demo, and one of the orcs that you brainwash. Oh, it's nice that they were quite charming about the orc, because he is very light-hearted, which in a very serious game can, if done right, he can bring like sort of a brighter tone to it. So like you just went off and killed an orc or something, it's just like you can go and have a laugh with him or something like that. Yeah, as I said earlier, they talked about Forza and the Porsche 911 and decided to fucking obsess over this. It was an okay press conference. There weren't many games that were like really, well, for me, there wasn't many games I was really hyped for. Oh, they also announced original Xbox backwards compatibility to the Xbox One, so all those original Xbox games, like, fucking grabbed by the yeah, other than that, I think that was everything. So apparently they gave a Life is Strange prequel. I didn't know it was a prequel. I heard Life is Strange got another trailer and was getting another game, which I don't know how because everyone fucking hated that game. But I didn't know it was a prequel. Cuphead finally got a release date, I believe, of September. Was it September 29th? I want to say. It doesn't say on this article, so. So yeah, that was pretty much everything for the Microsoft / Xbox press conference. Which one's this one? Let's see. Is the Sony one? It is. Right. So moving on to the Sony press conference. Oh, so the people who made Until Dawn, which I've heard is like amazing game. People loved it. But they're making another game called Hidden Agenda, which it seems to be sort of a crime thriller about a serial killer. So it's almost like Heavy Rain crossed with Until Dawn, which, if you're into those narrative games, it probably sounds amazing. I'm personally not. I haven't. I have Heavy Rain downstairs, just sat on my shelf, but then again, I've got Last of Us sat on that shelf as well, and I still haven't picked that up and played it. The new Uncharted game, I thought 4 was going to be the last one, and then they were going to stop fucking milking it. But apparently they're making a new one, which it doesn't look like it's going to have Nathan Drake in it, which kind of sad about, but then again, they could have just as much of a likable protagonist, which I doubt. But Horizon Zero Dawn got a new like DLC announcement where they've gone into the Ice Age, apparently. But apparently she's getting some like new armors and stuff like that. But Days Gone. If anyone remembers the zombie tech demo thing from, I think it was last year or the year before that, where the one guy has like this shotgun, he's like trapped on a bridge, and there's hordes and hordes of zombies just coming towards him. Or like, I think it was like a train carriage, he opened that up and they started chasing after him. I think that finally got like an actual name of like Days Gone, and they just showed more of it pretty much. Like, I know there was a moment in the trailer when someone put like a bomb onto a wall, it exploded the wall, and all the zombies just came flooding in. That seemed cool. Monster Hunter Worlds, it looks really good, at least compared to like the other Monster Hunters. But I've never picked up a Monster Hunter game in my life. I might pick this one up though, not sure. Shadow of the Colossus is getting a PS4 remaster. I've always wanted to play Shadow of the Colossus. I've heard it's an amazing game and like one of the best games ever. And seeing as like it's getting a PS4 remake, I may as well pick it up. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It doesn't have the best graphics, but then again, it's a fighting game with Marvel and Capcom characters. I'm sold on that. I love it. Call of Duty World War II. It's a Call of Duty game. What do you expect? PSVR. They announced like Skyrim VR, like Bethesda did. So there was just some more stuff about that. God of War. So they revealed more like Norse mythology about it, rather than like the Greek one, like the Greek trilogy, I guess. Which, if they make a Norse trilogy as well, that would be amazing. Let's see. Detroit Become Human. I haven't heard anything about this. Destiny 2, which I heard was a very controversial sort of announcement. A lot of people just kind of got up and left at that point, which was kind of funny. Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game, looks fucking amazing. I will be all over that. Insomniac look like they've done amazingly with that. And I think that is everything for the PlayStation 1.
I have crippling depression.
I don't know. I think Ubisoft was like, it was an okay press conference. I think, like they announced some goodish games. So obviously they've announced Far Cry 5, showed a trailer for that, and saw. Then one of the most weirdest announcements from E3, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I don't know which crackhead came up with this, but the people who made it must have been even bigger crackheads, because they managed to make it work. It looks half decent. Yeah, it's an XCOM style strategy game, but with Mario and Rabbids characters. I can't believe I'm saying that sentence, but it actually looks decent. Obviously more Assassin's Creed Origins stuff, about how it's based in Egypt, and just more about that. The Crew 2, not bothered by that at all. I don't play racing games. I don't do anything like that unless it's like a kart racer like Mario Kart, because those are fun. More stuff on the Fractured But Whole. I love Stick of Truth. That was an amazing game, and I can't wait for this one to come out. I just want it now. Skull and Bones, that's an original IP, which is great. It's amazing, and it's based off the ship battles from Assassin's Creed 4. But instead of just doing it on your own, you're PvPing against people, which is awesome. If I can go against my friends in ship battles, I will buy that game in an instant. Beyond Good and Evil 2, that was finally announced after God knows how many years. The first one, again, I started playing and then just sort of, I started playing and then kind of fell off it. I don't know what it is with me and falling off games. But yeah, I just fall off games. Obviously more about Far Cry 5. Steep, I think they announced some like DLC for it, or new updates and stuff like that. Oh, I heard about this one too. Starlink, which I believe uses, if you use it on Nintendo Switch, you can buy these little like model things of weapons for like a little tiny ship. Like it's either Disney Infinity or I think it's Disney Infinity, where you have those little like models, put them on there, and your character like actually goes into the game, which is amazing. But I don't know how that's going to work on like Xbox One, PS4 if they release it for that, of course. Just Dance, just because they know that's going to make money. So they also announced a VR horror game called Transference, which is coming spring next year. Although it looks like it's coming to non-VR consoles as well, but I haven't seen anything on that, so I don't feel like I can talk about it that much. And I think that's everything from from Ubisoft's press conference. I was going to say EA then. Moving on to EA's moving on to EA's press conference. Obviously I heard about EA's press conference. It was sort of a hit or miss press conference. It was either you liked it, or you liked it because of some of the games that are announced, specifically Star Wars Battlefront 2, or you hated it because EA seemed like they were jerking themselves off pretty much. This came with the announcement of Madden 18, like pretty much all the sports games. Just made it seem as though EA was just patting themselves on the back pretty much about how they own the sports genre pretty much. Battlefield 1 had a new DLC announcement in the name of SAR, TSAR, I have no idea how to pronounce that. FIFA 18, obviously them talking about the sports stuff again. A new Need for Speed, again, I don't really care about racing games, so that wasn't something for me. A Way Out, I believe this was from the creator of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was it was a loved Xbox arcade game from the 360, but I personally never played it. But if they're taking more, I remember the graphics being sort of cartoony, so if they take a more realistic approach with this, maybe even like is it Brothers of Two? I don't know. No, Army of Two. That's it. Maybe even Army of Two approach where like you can command each other in like gunfights and stuff like that. That would be amazing. Anthem again, the Destiny Mass Effect sort of thing. NBA Live again, fucking announcing that they're good with fucking sports games.